Hello, how are you guys doing? This is part 3 of drawing a mountainscape. So if you want to start from the beginning, go to part 1, which would be episode 7, in the playlist of Live with Charity Lowe. First off, I'm going to be going through the materials that I'm using, and then I'm going to help with the setup. Like, there's been a question on the Facebook group, and I'm going to answer those questions. So first, for the drawing itself, we're going to be using the 4H pencil. Oh, I just lost the pencil. Oops. Just hold on. Okay, so we're going to use the 4H pencil, an HB pencil, a 4B pencil, and an 8B pencil. We're also going to be using a black watercolor pencil, but you can substitute that for a black colored pencil, charcoal, or a really dark graphite, whatever you want to use. This is just what I use. It's up to you for what works for you. And then I have a mono eraser. It's a mechanical eraser. And a electric eraser, which spins super fast, helps get really clean, sharp lines. And then also we can use the sandpaper to help clean blending stumps, which means we need blending stumps. So here, these are blending stumps. We need to clean them up. So we're going to use the sandpaper before we use that. For when we're done doing the little sketch, we're going to go over it with just water in some areas to help darken those really dark areas. So a tiny paintbrush and some water for later. I don't know if we'll get to that today. And toilet paper or tissue paper. Answering some questions that were asked in the Facebook group, Da Vinci iApp group. And here we go. So first is, how do I get the Apple or a new Apple device with the app without having to pay again? Just give me a second. So this is actually an old device, but it'll be the same thing. So first you're going to want to go into, let me just get this in frame. Go into the App Store. And then you're going to go and click on your little profile thing here. And then you go into Purchased. And there you'll find all the apps that you have purchased. So here's the Da Vinci iApp. It is on the cloud, so you just click on that. And then I'll just download it as long as you're using the same Apple ID, you could do it that way. And there you go. Don't have to worry about paying for it twice. But the Da Vinci iApp is not the app that will let you use two devices. It is actually the mural maker that does that. So if you want to do large pieces with the DaVinci Eye app, you need to stream it onto another device, which, what I mean by that, not an app, not a phone, and not a tablet. It would have to be like a TV, or maybe, I don't know how it works with the computer because I've never done it before, but you can possibly do it with the computer as well. So let me think what I gotta do. So now I'm gonna show you the screen. Oh, I don't know if come on. It stopped sharing. Hopefully that starts up again here soon. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna show you. You know what? I'm gonna buy it. I don't think. Okay, sorry. Gotta get some stuff done because I didn't quite set it up because I thought I already had it. Just bear with me. Okay, now we're back to the app. So this is the Mural Maker, not the DaVinci Eye app, the Mural Maker, which is also by the same people. So we're gonna go plus, and we're using this as the camera device. So we got that going. You can adjust on this part, or you can adjust, there's a setup guide. So let's just go through the setup guide here. Skip AR tracking because I don't want to do that right now. Placing it on a tripod. So position, and then we can move it to where we want it to go. Lock it so we can zoom in. The grid is really nice for making sure it's lined up properly, so if it's not tilted too far, too back, like side to side or whatever. And now then we're going to go into the Mural Maker on our other device. And I didn't have to pay for it again. I'm gonna go plus, not now, because yeah. So plus, and then drawing device. So just got to click on that. Another thing he said that would help is that you go into the top. Okay, you can rotate it. Here we go. And zoom in. You can also realign it, I believe. Position. Unlock and move it this way. So there, that's one way you can use the app as well. This is for Mural Maker. Yeah, and again, this is not the Vinci app, this is Mural Maker. So I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to exit out of this. Go into Mural Maker. Go plus, camera device, select an image. No thanks. Ignore. If you're having issues, swipe from the top right corner and then make sure the Wi-Fi is on white, not blue. And then you can reposition it and zoom in. Oh, my iPhone is disconnected. Okay, Mural Maker. I don't know if you guys can see that. Plus, drawing device, and slide. Let's see if I can. And then we just gotta wait. You gotta make sure both devices are on the same Wi-Fi for it to work as well. And there we go. Reposition. So unlock, you can reposition it and lock it. So you have all control with the other device. So one's gotta be camera and one's gotta be the drawing device. Oh. Okay, so now that we got that, hopefully that was helpful. This is, again, not Vinci app, that was the Mural Maker. Oh, sorry. I messed up something here. Screencast. I accidentally turned off the Mevo Go, which is how I'm streaming. So, turn that back to blue, cast screen. This is how I'm setting up for my TV to see what I'm doing. Okay, if the camera on your Vinci is not on, go into the AR mode, unfocus, and focus again. And then it should work. Let me see. I guess that didn't work. Okay, just go back. If that doesn't work, go into your projects, click on your project, lock focus, and then it should be back. I'm going to use the strobe feature for this. We are starting the fine details. So do you use the Mural app much? I use it for my window paintings. It's not very often that I use the Mural Maker. What does it cost? What did it cost? It was like $25 a year, which isn't too bad. I'm not the developer, so I can't remember. I have bad memory, and I know I just paid for it. But yeah. So we're just doing circular motions for the leaves. We could also do some spikes too, because this is an evergreen. This is pine needles, not leaves. You're welcome. I need some coffee. Are you going to teach how to use it? I did just a while ago. I can go into more depths in another video, but I did do a little bit of a quick demo in the beginning of this video. So just wait until it is gone, published, and look up Charity Lowe's, well, Da Vinci iApp Live with Charity Lowe. But if you want me to go into more detail, I can find a way to do it in another video after I've done this drawing. Okay, I'm going to use the HB pencil for the mountain. I know there's not a lot showing here, but I kind of just want to go across and doing like one square at a time and make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, my iPhone's going in and out. Why is it going in and out? Just fixing a couple of things here. Hopefully this works, because I want you guys to see the screen of my phone as much as possible. See, make sure the camera's still working. There we go. So yeah, there's not a lot showing here, but we're just gonna do what we can see for now. So I'm just drawing in circular motions for this. I have my drawing board at an angle. That is working good for me so far. Yeah, that works too. That's how Sam does it. He's the developer of the app. Still needs to be darker, so I'm going to go in with the 4B pencil. Just circular motions. Don't need to put a lot of pressure, just a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because nature is very random, which kind of makes it more like abstract. So I have a dirty blending stump, so I'm going to clean that. I'm not going to clean it over top of the drawing, otherwise it's going to get all over the picture, and I don't want to do that. So it's clean. And then I'm just going to blend in circular motions. I am going to go in with my electric eraser and just do like a few little areas, like dots and those highlights. Maybe a few little scribbly spots, but not too much. And then I'm going to blend that again because it's quite bright. Just lightly blend it. There we go. Then we're going into the next section, which there isn't really a lot there either. And because I already know that I'm going to need the 4B pencil, I'm going to still use that 4B pencil for the shading. Just a blending with the blending stump. And I'm going to take that electric eraser and do the same kind of thing where I'm just doing some dots and a few little like scribbly marks, very tiny details, and then blend it a little bit again just so it's not so bright. I already did the sky earlier. I don't need to work on the sky. So we're going to work on part of this tree now. So I would just trace the main branches, and the smaller ones can just branch off somewhat randomly from those main branches. I'm using the black watercolor pencil for this. You don't have to go straight into the black watercolor pencil. The 4B pencil will work as well. I'm kind of just, I'm looking at the guidelines of the reference photo and just doing quick, long strokes for the branches. I'm also going to work on the lower part of that as well with the black watercolor pencil for the really thick branch there. The lines don't have to be complete, like they can have some gaps in between them because there are leaves and pine needles in between that do catch the light a little bit. going in, I have the HB pencil, and I'm just getting in some of those little tiny branches, just kind of using the reference photo as guidelines. They are not, you don't need to be exact with them. Okay, I'm going to take the 8B pencil and just do some circular, like very tiny circular strokes for the leaves and the pine needles, depending on which tree, what kind of tree we're using or drawing. You can add just a few lonely pieces here and there that are just hanging, so just some circular motions, small little circles in those areas. I'm just filling in the thicker areas of the pine needles. Can you see your reference photo? The reference photo is going back and forth with the strobe. Can you see that? It's on the screen, it's very hard to notice, but it's there. It is there. You just add. I'm going to increase the opacity, that might help. Is that better? I usually have the opacity to the fullest when doing this. I just didn't realize it wasn't. Let me just check this mountain. It does have a little bit more dark areas now that I don't have it at a medium opacity with the reference. So I'm just going to add a few little details in there with the 8B pencil. Now back to the tree. Now I'm going to go with the watercolor pencil and do some circular motions as well for those really dark areas. You can press a little bit, put some more pressure on it to make it darker. And to add some more texture, we'll do a few little straight lines coming from those areas. Just indicating that they are pine needles. Just finishing up that last little bit. I'm still using the black watercolor pencil, and I'm going to get those thick branches. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the 8B pencil and just fill in those really thick areas. And then the 4B pencil for those smaller little branches. And they don't have to be exact. None of it has to be exact. It's whatever you feel is right. Back with the watercolor pencil and just getting that area a little bit more darker. A few little indicated is an evergreen with pine needles. Oh, I cut out there for a second. I am going to add a few little light areas, just poking through those pine needles. And I'm just using my my electric eraser. Okay, now we're gonna go into the next row. I like to work from my left to the right so I don't blend, like accidentally smudge anything. And I also use a extra piece of paper to rest my hand on so I don't get it all over the place. I'm gonna start with the 8B pencil, and you can see one side of the trees are darker than the other side, so we're just gonna fill in that darker area. Still using circular motions. You can add a few little spikes just to indicate that it's an evergreen, but we're just trying to fill in those areas. I like to slide off of the camera. Not that my face is the important part of this video. I'm just filling in the darker side of the trees. And just, it doesn't have to be full completely because you still want some light shining through. I do see a trunk going down with this taller tree here, and it does kind of break into little bits, so I'm not going to go all the way through straight. It is going to be a bit broken. And then I'm going to use the black watercolor pencil to add a little bit more depth. And I'm not going to fill in as many areas, like as much of the area as I did with the 8B pencil. Just adding a few little spikes. I'm going back in with the 8B pencil, and I'm just going to fill in those darker areas on the larger tree. And it does kind of go into the smaller tree a bit. Then in with the black watercolor pencil, not filling in as much as I did with the 8B pencil. There are a few darker areas with this tree that's just peeking on the corner here. So I'm just going to draw in some of those branches. I'm going to use the HB pencil to put in some of those pine needles. Just some circular motions. We'll add some spikes as well. I think I'm going to go with the 4B pencil in this area here. And I do see a horizon of like little trees in the background, so I'm just going to fill that in too. And it's medium shade. And I'm going to blend that section of those background trees. And then I'm also going to blend a little bit on this little tree that's just poking through on the side here. And then I'm going to take my mono eraser and just pick up some of those pine needles that are hitting the light or getting hit by the light. And just kind of circular motions, little spikes, little scribbly lines. We're just trying to create texture. Okay, the light side of the trees still have some darker areas. I'm going to use the 4B pencil just lightly and also just kind of do circular motions, scribbly lines, little spikes. Just little tiny stuff. I'm going to add some more black watercolor pencil just to add a bit more texture. Not a lot of it, just a little. And then back to the mono eraser and just picking up some of those areas with circular motions, squiggly lines, spikes. And then the other side of the bigger tree, the branches actually kind of go down with the bigger tree. So we're going to try to recreate the motion or the direction of those. Still using the I am using a 4B pencil with light pressure. Adding a little bit of black watercolor underneath some of these branches. And the 8B, just a little bit, not too much. Squiggly lines, circular motions, and spikes. going to blend it out a little bit, not too much, using the blending stump, and then taking my mono eraser and just picking up some areas with circular motions and squiggly lines, spikes. It's just a bunch of layering, that's all it is. Okay, the 4B pencil, we're going to work on the mountain in the background. And I'm doing circular motions. It's not as dramatic as the trees, not so chaotic. And just follow the guidelines. Look, you're trying to play spot the difference, but you don't need to be exact. Just like those bigger areas that are shaded. You don't have to worry about the texture too much. And then just blending it out, smoothing it up a bit. And then I'm going to go over it again for some of those sharper edges with the 4B. I think I'm going to go with the black watercolor pencil and fill in that dark line there. It's nice sharp edges because it is a mountain. It's made out of stone. And then I'm going to do some more of these dark lines with the black watercolor pencil. There's some here. It's kind of broken up lines up here, so I'm just doing that. I'm not doing a full straight continuous line. And now that we got that part done, we're gonna go in with the 8B pencil and get in those darker areas, following the direction of where the stone is going. Like you'll see how the texture of the mountain is going diagonally or horizontally or vertically. You just want to try to want to try to keep those lines going in the same direction as what it shows in the picture. And it also doesn't have to be completely filled in. Just some lines. You can do some short lines just to create that texture that is there. Another tip that might help you is to squint your eyes so you can see the basic shapes and not worry too much about all the fine details. Still kind of keeping in mind of the direction of those smaller lines are going, and just do it that way. Okay, I'm going to blend this out with the blending stump, still going in the same direction, or the direction. Did I just cut out? And then I'm just going to get those lighter areas that I see. Not the lightest areas, but lighter. And I'm just going to use what's on the blending stump for that. Accidentally broke one of my stands, so I'm trying to balance one of my tablets on my knee. Okay, I'm looking for the HB pencil, and I'm going to create some of the texture in the highlighted areas. And just short lines following that direction of the lines within the mountain. And blending those a little bit, going in the same direction. There's some little areas that I want to kind of sharpen up the edges, so I'm going to work on those. the structural shapes. And blending those again. Now I'm going to take the mono eraser, and I actually think I'll take the electric eraser for this, and just get some of those smaller highlights. And there's a little bit of light on the top edge here. And we're just doing some lines, little short lines, following the direction still of the mountain. And just slightly blending them in so they're not super bright. Now we're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to be using the 8B pencil. I'm going to get those darker areas, just following those lines. And the 4B pencil for the not as dark areas. If you need to squint to be able to see the basics of the shapes that are in the mountain, then that I recommend doing that. Go ahead and do it. I'm going to sharpen up some of those edges, just crisp them up a bit by just tracing around it where the really dark areas meet the really light areas. There's a whole section that I missed for shading, and I'm just going to quickly fill that in. And now we're going to go with the 4H pencil and just get in, well, no, let's do an 8. Those textures in the light areas. Then I'm going to blend it in, still following the directions of the lines that I drew, that are the lines that the mountain has already. And then just lightly do that in the light areas as well. And then we're going to take the electric eraser and just pull up some of those areas of highlight. And then blend that a little bit. Again, not super dark. There is enough graphite on the blending stump that would work just fine. Okay, it is halftime, so we are going to take a quick break, and yeah, I'm just going to grab some coffee, and yeah, see you in about a couple of minutes. Hello, I am back. It is time for Q&A. I'm just going to set up a couple things here. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. This is a good time to ask. If not, I'll just tell you what is currently happening with the DaVinci app and things things that are associated with it. First off, man, that went down the wrong tube. First off, there is a giveaway challenge on the DaVinci app Facebook group. So I posted 10 different challenges, and you only need to complete 5 of the 10 challenges, and they're pretty quick. You can do them pretty quick. They don't take very long. And everybody who has completed 5 challenges will be entered into a draw, and there will be 3 winners to win a cash prize. So if that interests you, go and join the DaVinci app. Make sure you answer all the questions. I have a promo code for the iOS. It is charity in all capitals. For Android, you have to email me so I can get you your personal code for that, because they only give you one code at a time. Why is it breaking in and out? Are you guys having issues? I'm gonna lower the thing here. I'm sorry. Are we back yet? Okay. Sorry about that. I hope this doesn't break in and out anymore. Again, so let's do this again. If you want to try out the DaVinci app for free for a year, for iOS it's charity in all caps. And if you want to try it for Android free for a year, you need to email me. My email is in the link below, like in the description. And you will get your own personal code that could only be used once. And that's why you need to contact me directly for that. What else is going on? I think that's it. I think that's all that's going on. Just so you know, I am not the developer. I am just an artist that really loves the app, and I've been working with them for a couple of years now. And I thought it would be a good idea to do live videos to help teach you how to use the app to its fullest. And also, like for these live videos, I'm always up for requests, whether that's a new medium, a different subject, whatever you need to know, how to set up the app, tech stuff. I am up for doing that too. So if you want to have me do live videos on certain subjects, let me know in the comments. And yeah, so that's what I'm here for. I could also be found in the Facebook group. If you want to ask me a question there, I can also answer that pretty quickly. I check that on a daily basis. So anyways, we should probably get back to drawing. I have nothing else to talk about. Nobody's talking to me at the moment. If you have any other questions come up during the live video, don't hesitate. I will keep checking it every so often. And this was moved. There we go. Okay, now we are going to continue where we left off. We're going to move into the next section of the drawing, and I'm going to be using the 8B pencil. I need to sharpen this pencil. Can you guys hear me all right? I'm just going to do the the outline of the mountain where it's dark first. And then I'm just going to shade it in by doing lines that are following the lines of the mountain. My tablet doesn't want to stay in place. So yeah, just following those lines. Squint if you have to see the shapes that are within the mountain from the highlights and the shadows. I'm just doing some lighter shading because I already got the really dark areas. blend it out with the blending stump. Still trying to follow those lines. Keep the texture. And then we're gonna go in with the HB pencil and then put in some of that texture in those lighter areas. Some lines that are following the direction of what the mountains, you can see little lines in the mountains. Why is it so quiet all of a sudden? Can you guys hear me all right? Okay, let's try this. That's better. Okay, and now we're going to lightly blend in those areas, not a whole bunch. And then we're going to take the electric eraser and we're going to pick up some of that, still using lines, maybe a few little circles here and there. Whatever feels right to you. Even just dabbing some of the areas with the electric eraser will also help get that texture in. I'm just blending it a little bit, not in all the spaces, just a little bit of it. And now we are on to the next section. Using the 8B pencil, I'm going to get those darker areas. I am going to be also going in some of those areas with the black watercolor pencil. I'm going to take the black watercolor pencil. There's just a edge here that's pretty dark that I want to get in And then I'm going to take the HB pencil and do those little details on the lighter side of the mountain. So which app is that and how much does it cost? This is the Da Vinci Eye app. I believe it is $20 a year. I bought it a while ago and I lost track of it. I am not the developer, so I don't set the prices. If you want to try the app for free, I do have promo codes for it. The iOS devices are charity, all caps, to try the app for free. And also Android is different. I can only send out a promo code that's unique to each individual person. Otherwise, yeah, it just doesn't like one code for everyone. So please send me an email. The email's in the description, but it's CharityLowsArtDVE at outlook.com. I know it's a really long email, but yeah, it's in the description. So send me that and I will give you a free year tester. It should give you plenty of time to decide if you want to continue to use the app. And then also you can join the live videos to get a few tips on how to use the app to its fullest. I'm just doing the very far background. There is a mountain there as well, and I'm just doing circular motions because you can't really see any details, no texture. And then I'm going to blend it. And then I can kind of see some edges, which looks like it's some texture from the background mountain, or it could be hills. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not looking at the entire photo at once. So I'm using a 4B and just creating that shape that I see. You don't necessarily need to see the whole picture to be able to draw it. You just draw what you see. And then it'll come together on its own. Okay, I'm going to do some shading. Well, some blending on the mountain and just following those lines. And my electric eraser. And just following those lines. And blending some more, just ever so slightly, not too much. I noticed that the sky is quite a bit darker So I'm going to take the knead eraser that I have and just dab it on the sky a bit to lighten it up. This is before we do the tree because you want to do the finer parts of the drawing last. It doesn't matter if it's the foreground or the background. You want to do those finer pieces. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of toilet paper, or you can take tissue paper, whatever, and blend out the edges a bit. Just don't use your hands. This is a medium you don't want to use your hands because the fingerprints will stay, and there is there's not much you can do about fingerprints. There is one medium that I used recently that is okay to use with your hands, and that's chalk pastel. I'm sure there's other ones that work just as fine with blending with your hands. So I'm just going to do some of the main branches with the black watercolor pencil. Again, you don't need to use the black watercolor pencil. You can substitute it for something else just as long as it's nice and dark. I choose black watercolor pencil as a personal preference, so I am actually a mixed media artist. I am not a graphite artist. I'm going to take the 8B pencil and we're going to do squiggly lines, circles, and spikes. And we're just going to fill in those thick areas, add a few branches that are sticking out, just kind of using the reference photo as just guidelines. You don't have to trace every single little detail. People will still recognize it as being what it is. Landscape is quite fun to do because it doesn't require accuracy as a portrait drawing does. Because nature is very abstract when you're looking at the details. Okay, now I'm going to go over it with the black watercolor pencil again. Not filling in as many spaces. When it comes to creating trees in an artistic way, I love the way that Bob Ross does it with the fan brush. It is very realistic. I'm going to just do a few little random pieces here and there that are separate from the rest of the branches. Okay, there are some highlights that are poking through the branches, so I'm just going to do a couple like dots in some of those branches just to show that there is light. And then we just got a little bit of section to do on this side. So I'm going to take the 8B pencil and fill it in. Should have done the background first because I just noticed that there's some details in the background. I'm going to go in with the 4B pencil and work on some of that. And then I'm going to take the HB pencil, because there is a mountain that's further in the distance. I'm going to take the blending stump to blend it out a bit because it's not fully detailed. Okay, black watercolor pencil and doing some more textures on the branches, circular motions, squiggly lines, some spikes, like tiny little lines, just to indicate that it is evergreen tree. You can add some more branches if you'd like. There's a few little lighter areas of where the light's just poking through. I'm just going to put a few little circles, like tiny little circles in the, like just behind the leaves. The pine needles. Now we're going to work on the next section. I like to work from my right to my left because I am right-handed and I want to prevent smudging as much as possible. broke my tablet stand today. I'm so sad. Okay, I'm gonna take the 8B pencil and then I'm just going to do circular motions, squiggly lines for the darker areas. You can squint your eyes if you want to see the basic shapes a bit better and not distracted by all the detail. My husband in the background doing some stuff. Okay, I'm gonna blend that a little bit, not too much. We want to try to keep the texture. It must be lunchtime soon because I am getting hungry. 15 minutes to noon for me. Okay, I'm going to take the black watercolor pencil and do a few of the details going over what we've already done, but not as much. Like I'm not filling in as much as we did with the 8B pencil. Okay, now I'm gonna go in, I think I'll use the 4B pencil and just add some more texture, just doing some circular motions in those later areas because we still want some texture there. Circular motions, scribblies, just to add some more texture, that's all. Okay, I'm gonna blend it a little bit. I'm gonna use the blending stump ever so slightly because we want to try to keep that texture. I think I still want to add some more dark details. I'm going to go in with the black watercolor pencil and just add in within that highlighted areas just a few little black spots. And now we're going to go in with the mono eraser and just erase a little bit of those highlights where it's really bright. Okay, and now I think I might blend it just a little bit, not too much. Okay, I'm gonna go into the next section. I'll work on the mountain first and then I'll work some more on the tree in the foreground. There is a really dark area in the mountain and I'm going to try to duplicate those shapes that are created there using the black watercolor pencil. Again, the black watercolor pencil is just something I use. You do not have to use that if you don't want to. Substitute it for something else, a darker graphite, charcoal, black colored pencil. But with drawings, you do want black on your page, and a lot of people are afraid of it, but you really need it to make it look realistic. Just adding a few of those dots in the mountain. I feel like I need to sneeze. Oh. Now that we got those really dark areas on the mountain, we can add a few more here and there. Just little tiny ones. And we're going to go in with the 8B pencil and just follow those lines. We're not drawing in circular motions, we are using lines for this. Just drawing lines, trying to stay with those lines that you see on the mountain. Okay, and now we're going to go in with the HB pencil, and we're going to add some of the texture in those white areas. And blend it with the blending stump, still following the lines. Just a little bit in the white areas. We're not going to do too much. And using the electric eraser, pulling up some of those highlights. You can use tiny little lines to create some of that texture. There is a little bit of area that can be like squiggly lines, if that makes any sense, or circles. And we're going to blend that a little bit more, not too much. And now we can work on that edge of the tree. I'm going to actually blend this a little bit more so that it matches the rest of the mountain, because it is quite sharp still. But I'm going to not blend the white areas. There we go. Now for the tree, I'm going to blend the mountain into the tree first. Just a little bit of overlap for that, and then we can add the details over top of it. We're going to use the mono eraser and just circular scribbly motions. You can add a few little spikes so that people know that it's an evergreen tree, if the shape of the tree wasn't enough for figuring out that this is an evergreen tree. And then we're going to go in with the HB pencil. I'm going to add some of those details back, some of the shadowing, and I think that's good for that section. Starting with the black watercolor pencil, I'm just gonna get those really dark areas first. I'm going to do some circular motions, a few lines to create some more texture to the mountain. Okay, it is 12 o'clock here. So there's a giveaway challenge happening on the Facebook group. So I posted 10 challenges. You just have to complete 5 of the 10 to enter into a draw to win a cash prize. And I'm planning on having 3 winners. And the last day to enter in those challenges are on the 26th. Details are in the group. If you're not part of the group, go ahead and request to be in it. Make sure you answer all the questions so that you will be approved to join the group. If you want to try the app for free for a year, iOS password or promo code is charity, all caps. If you have an Android, please email me so I can get you your own personal code, because everybody gets a different code. I don't know why, it just is. And my email is charitylowsartdve@outlook.com. And yeah, I want to see your artwork, so please post in the group. You could also email your pictures to me so I can take a look, and I am available every day on the Facebook group if you need any questions. If you're having any issues or concerns about the app, you can also contact Sam. He's also in the group. He could also find him at info@davinciiapp.com. So yeah, thanks for joining, and never stop creating.